All right, it's Valentine's Day.
Coming up.
Do you have a Valentine? I'll be a Valentine if you have no one.
To quote the Jerky Boys, that's my business. All right, we have a special guest with us. Her name is Pat Fortunato. She blogs about everything, including issues of male-female relationships, romance. I Can't Believe I'm Not Bitter is her new book. Native New Yorker, Pat Fortunato. Welcome to Good Day New York.
Nice
to see you.
Hi. Welcome. So you do these essays every week on your blog.
I do.
You take different ideas that basically are female-oriented, right?
Yeah, mostly, although I have a lot of men followers these days, I find.
Really?
That they either like to find out what their women are thinking about, or they find that they have similar problems or ideas.
So with Valentine's coming up, a lot of people, it just stirs up a lot of emotions, and if you're not involved with somebody, you can be bitter. You can be bitter.
But humor is always the antidote to bitterness.
How about canceling Valentine's Day? There's a great...
That would not be good for me, because then I wouldn't be here on the show.
I love it. Well, you've put together a quiz for all of us to take part in. Can I ask you a question
Fire
first?
away, shoot.
Okay,
Fire
Pat,
away.
this is one of your questions from your book. What do you call someone if you're really not in a serious relationship, him or her?
All right.
You're not married.
I know.
Well,
Put that back up on the board. I think we're going to start with your question first. You are home, and what's his name comes in and makes a meatloaf for you on Valentine's Day.
The famous heart-shaped meatloaf.
yes. Okay.
It's very delicious. You love the gesture. You want to encourage him to cook, but it gives you a colossal case of heartburn. This is a real ethical dilemma, Rosanna.
Okay, so what do you do?
What are her options? What are her options,
let's
Pat?
see. What are the options?
Okay, the options are as follows. Choice A, you can buy antacid. B, eat, pray, love. That is, eat the meatloaf, pray for relief, and prepare to suffer for love.
Very cute.
Okay, you got a dog, right? I don't
Give
get
it to
that
the
one.
dog, Greg.
Oh. I'm going to answer this for you.
Tell him the truth. What, from a male perspective?
You've been married long enough to this guy, Lou.
Okay.
By the way, does he cook?
Lou does cook, by the
My
way.
husband's name Lou also.
Yeah?
Yeah,
that's
and he
terrific.
cooks as well.
So,
And I cook the meatloaf.
Pat, what's the best option here?
No, I want to hear your answer first.
Okay, you go first.
My suggestion to you would be to say change the menu.
Really?
I don't like meatloaf.
I don't like to really, if somebody does the effort, I would probably eat, pray, love.
Eat what is that?
Eat the meatloaf, pray I don't get heartburn.
Yeah. That's an excellent answer.
But if he does it every year traditionally, that's a little much.
I would still do it.
By the way, meatloaf is not a romantic meal.
Oh, if it's heart-shaped, it is.
It's save it for the chocolates. Save it for the roses.
All right, I have a quiz for
I'll
you.
tell you that the worst one would be to tell him I don't like it and hurt his feelings and stop him from cooking.
How about I got an idea?
Because that's so unromantic, right?
Here's the deal.
And impractical.
Yeah, I got the practical solution for everybody.
Okay.
6 months out, August. Say, you know what? I don't really like meatloaf.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? So next time I had a bad reaction.
But what happens if you just got into the relationship?
The first time?
Yeah.
Number one, you wonder about this guy and the meatloaf. I don't have a solution for
All
that.
right, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Via Pat. Okay. You're not married, but you're living together and committed. Okay.
In sin.
When you introduce him
I
at
don't
the
mean that. Lots
office
of people.
party.
All right, hold on. That's a fair option for a lot of people. I'm only kidding. We used to say that in Catholic schools as a joke. Keep going.
Okay. So you introduce him to your friends, maybe at a Valentine's Day party, maybe at the office party. What do
Did you say him?
Him or her? Her.
Keep going.
Do you say, this is Alexa, my partner? This is Alexa, my fiance? This is Alexa, period, giving new meaning to the expression, don't ask, don't tell? Or this is my latest lover?
Well,
What do you think about that? How would you say that?
this is kind of easy. Obviously, you're not going to say D. Not only because latest, but lover. I mean, who says lover anymore? My lover. It's something very 70s about that, right?
We don't say that in front of the grandchildren.
This is Alex. Don't ask, don't tell. This is Alex. Period. Huh. That's actually somewhat mysterious.
All right, so what would you say?
Actually, I would say this is my friend. And I gotta tell you, I don't like, Pat, how do you feel about this? I don't like the word girlfriend. For a guy, I don't know, there's something very juvenile about the
Yeah,
phrase,
well, at a
the
certain
word.
age to say girlfriend or boyfriend, especially for a woman to say boyfriend is kind of strange.
Nobody agrees with me. You agree with me?
I do agree with you
On
on
this one,
that.
yeah.
I did, and I was not married for a long time, and then got married. And one of the reasons I got married was so that I could say something. You know, I could say this is my husband.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you counsel people during this time? Because it is a time where if you're not involved in a relationship, you really feel bad or badly.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm not a psychologist or a counselor, but I would say again that always humor is the enemy of bitterness.
All right, so watch Seinfeld reruns. I mean, watch TV.
Well, that's what I do.
Really?
I watch Monk.
Let's find out. There's so many shows to keep up with.
Yeah.
Pat, tell us a little bit what happened between college, Harper College, and the blog. Well, how did you, what did you do over the past few decades?
Well, I was a writer, I was an editor, I wrote comics. I was one of the first women who wrote comics. And the story of that
Comic books or what?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I wrote The Phantom. Do you happen to remember that?
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah. And the reason I did that was that I needed a job. I walked into King Features and they said, women don't write comics. So I walked out kind of, you know, unhappy. And then I went home and said, wait a minute, what do they mean women don't write comics? I read them, and I'm a writer. So I went back with a script, they bought it, and then I went on.
You were basically filling in the little white bubbles.
Yeah.
Right?
No. The comic writer actually writes the story, and then the artist
Writes around you.
Yes,
The other way around.
Exactly.
That's
But
very
then after that, I wrote lots of other things, and the blog I started about 3 years. I started on Valentine's Day.
So this is like an anniversary.
It's an anniversary. It is.
All right.
Yes. And you can access the blog at I can't believe I'm not bitter, but some people don't like to type in all those letters. So you can also access it at patnyc.com.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Pat Fortunato.
It's
nice to see
wonderful
you.
to meet you guys.
And we're
Welcome
not
back.
bitter.
Thank you, Pat.
We're not bitter.
You guys have no problem. There's no bitterness factor here.
Sometimes. You got us on a good
A
day.
little testy, but not bitter.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, another question we're asking this morning.
Where people got their clothes.
Where'd you get that?